The Man Behind the Curtain. Most of us have seen the classic 1939 film The Wizard of Oz, but few of us know the man who wrote the story, LFrankBaum. Born in 1856, Baum was a man of many talents and interests. He was inspired by the works of the brothers Grimm and Hans Christian Andersen. Baum's early works included plays, newspapers, and even a store dedicated to fancy goods. Tonight, we'll journey beyond the rainbow and into the occult messages hidden within Baum's masterpiece and how some believe it connects to the MK Ultra program. Born in 1856 in Chittenango, New York, Lyman Frank Baum was a sickly child with a heart condition that kept him from strenuous activity. Instead, he created worlds in his mind, filling them with fantastical characters and mystical lands. His upbringing in an era rich with spiritual movements influenced his later works in ways that many overlook. Baum's father was a wealthy businessman who owned several enterprises, including a successful barrel-making company. At the age of 12, Baum received a small printing press from his father, sparking his interest in writing and publishing. He published his own newspaper, the Rose Lawn Home Journal, showcasing his early talent and creativity. Baum's early experiences and the rich cultural environment of his upbringing laid the foundation for his imaginative future works. Baum's mother-in-law, Matilda Joslyn Gage, was a prominent feminist and a devout theosophist. Theosophy, founded by Helena P. Blavatsky, was an occult movement that blended spiritualism, mysticism, and Eastern philosophy. This belief system, focused on secret knowledge, reincarnation, and the evolution of the soul, became central to Baum's storytelling. In 1892, he and his wife officially joined the Theosophical Society. Baum's works, including The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, are imbued with theosophical themes, reflecting his deep engagement with the society. His narratives often explore the journey of the soul, the quest for enlightenment, and the hidden truths of existence. So how does theosophy influence The Wizard of Oz? To understand this, we must look beyond the surface of the story and into its hidden messages. Baum was deeply involved in theosophy, a spiritual movement that sought to explore the mysteries of the universe and the divine. This influence is evident in the characters and themes of his work. For instance, the journey of Dorothy and her friends can be seen as a metaphor for the soul's quest for enlightenment. Each character represents different aspects of the human experience and spiritual growth. The Emerald City symbolizes the ultimate goal of spiritual attainment, while the Wicked Witch of the West embodies the obstacles and challenges one must overcome on this path. Baum's use of symbolism and allegory invites readers to delve deeper into the narrative, uncovering layers of meaning that reflect his theosophical beliefs. By examining these hidden messages, we gain a richer understanding of the Wizard of Oz and the esoteric journey Baum intended for his readers. Dorothy's journey on the yellow brick road is more than just a path to Emerald City. It is the path to enlightenment, a symbolic journey of the soul. The golden path represents the journey of self-discovery, much like the golden path in esoteric traditions such as Buddhism and Theosophy. Baum's philosophical journey is deeply embedded in his stories, reflecting his exploration of spiritual and esoteric ideas. Through Dorothy's adventures, Baum invites readers to embark on their own path to enlightenment, encouraging self-discovery and spiritual growth. The road starts in a spiral, symbolizing the cycles of reincarnation. Dorothy, like the spiritual seeker, must transcend this cycle and ascend toward a higher state of awareness. But to do so, she must first shed the illusions of the material world. Baum's narratives often reflect this journey where characters undergo transformation and rebirth. Through trials and tribulations, they emerge wiser and more enlightened, embodying the essence of reincarnation. Just as Dorothy's journey in Oz is a metaphor for the soul's quest for higher understanding. The Emerald City, seemingly the final destination, mirrors the illusion of worldly success and false gods. The city's grandeur is a facade, masking the emptiness within. The wizard, a fraud hiding behind a curtain of deception, symbolizes the charlatans who manipulate the masses. These figures, much like religious and political leaders, claim divine knowledge but are merely illusionists. The Emerald City serves as a metaphor for the false promises of power and wealth. It's a reminder that true fulfillment comes not from external grandeur, but from inner wisdom and authenticity. Each of Dorothy's companions represents a key aspect of spiritual growth. The Scarecrow, who seeks a brain, represents the need for wisdom and intellectual growth. The Tin Man, yearning for a heart, signifies emotional intelligence, compassion, and the ability to love. The Cowardly Lion's desire for courage reflects the necessary bravery to face spiritual truths and overcome fears. Together, they form the complete self, body, mind, and spirit, all working in harmony, symbolizing the journey towards self-realization and enlightenment. While The Wizard of Oz is largely considered an allegory for personal growth and spiritual awakening, it is deeply rooted in theosophy, a philosophy that blends ancient mysticism with the idea of spiritual ascension. However, some researchers believe that the story was later used for a much darker purpose: mind control and occult programming. Baum's works, including The Wizard of Oz, have been analyzed for themes of mind control, suggesting that the characters' journeys symbolize manipulation and control. The Emerald City, for instance, can be seen as a metaphor for a controlled environment, where the inhabitants are unaware of the true nature of their reality. The wizard himself represents the hidden manipulators who control the masses from behind the scenes, using illusion and deception. In esoteric teachings, Saturn represents control, limitation, and authority. It is often associated with the passage of time and the inevitability of fate. Some researchers claim that Saturnian influences permeate the Wizard of Oz, reinforcing hidden messages of obedience and submission. The characters' journeys can be seen as a reflection of Saturn's themes of struggle and perseverance. The concept of the great and powerful Oz echoes the distant, authoritarian nature of Saturn, a ruler who is both feared and revered, yet ultimately exposed as a fraud. This mirrors the esoteric idea that true power lies within, not in external authorities. Baum's stories subtly weave these Saturnian themes, inviting readers to question authority and seek their own path, much like Dorothy and her companions on their journey to self-discovery. Declassified documents from the CIA's MK-Ultra program reveal experiments conducted in the 1950s and 60s using trauma-based conditioning to create dissociative states in victims. Some believe that the Wizard of Oz became a key tool in programming, reinforcing triggers in victims through repetition of specific symbols and phrases. LFrankBaum's works, including The Wizard of Oz, are often analyzed for their deeper meanings. Some researchers draw parallels between Baum's narratives and the psychological manipulation techniques used in MK-Ultra. The journey of Dorothy and Oz is seen as a metaphor for the mind control journey, where characters and symbols represent different aspects of psychological conditioning. The song "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" is said to be one of the most dissociative songs ever written. Its haunting melody and wistful lyrics have resonated with audiences for decades. For trauma victims, the concept of going over the rainbow mirrors dissociation, escaping pain by retreating into a fantasy world. This song has become an anthem for those seeking solace in their dreams. In The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy's journey over the rainbow symbolizes a quest for a better place, a utopia where troubles melt like lemon drops. This powerful imagery has made the song a timeless classic. The song's enduring appeal lies in its universal message of hope and longing. It speaks to the human desire to find a place where dreams come true, a place just beyond the rainbow. The Wicked Witch of the West, representing the forces that prevent spiritual awakening, is a complex character in Baum's narrative. She is often seen as a symbol of the handlers in mind control operations, exerting control over her minions. The flying monkeys, once under her control, are a representation of the victim's programmed alters, split identities created through trauma. The Wicked Witch's power lies in her ability to manipulate and control these fragmented identities. Her sinister influence is a metaphor for the psychological trauma and mental anguish experienced by those under her spell. The Wicked Witch's dark magic and ominous presence serve as a constant reminder of the ever-present threat of psychological manipulation and control. The final lesson of The Wizard of Oz? There's no place like home. Dorothy's realization that she had the power to return home all along aligns with occult teachings, that enlightenment comes from within. But for those subjected to trauma-based programming, this mantra may take on a sinister meaning. obedience, and returning to their pre-programmed state. Baum's works often explore the concept of home as a place of safety and belonging. Philosophically, home represents an inner state of peace and self-acceptance. In Baum's narrative, the journey to home is both a physical and spiritual quest. It's a reminder that true contentment comes from within, not from external circumstances. Was The Wizard of Oz simply a children's tale with deep esoteric wisdom, or did it become something far more sinister? The story of Dorothy and her friends has captivated audiences for generations. LFrankBaum may have intended his story as a spiritual allegory, a journey of self-discovery and enlightenment, but like all powerful symbols, its meaning has evolved, taking on new interpretations and layers of complexity over time. Some argue that it has been exploited for various agendas, transforming its original message. As with all mysteries, the truth may be hidden just behind the curtain, waiting to be discovered by those who seek it. Please subscribe and like. Until next time for more mysteries.